5 horsepower, 10 horsepower, 20. How much power does a catalytic converter rob your car of? Now, this has been a heated debate on internet forums, Facebook car groups forever. Some people say it's negligible, some people say it's a lot, and you can feel the difference. So today we're gonna do something in order to test that theory, and we'll see how we feel about that. We'll be using my 96 Toyota Tacoma as the guinea pig. So this is a 2¼ inch exhaust pipe. I bought this at the autoparts. It's about 18 inches worth of pipe. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a tape measure and just measure from the end of one flange to the other on my truck's factory catalytic converter. And I'm going to see what that distance is, and we'll cut this thing down to about that length, maybe slightly shorter depending on how deep the flanges allow the pipe to go. Sometimes the flanges allow the pipe to go all the way through, sometimes it sits inside halfway through the flange, so you may have to adjust the length based on that. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning this into a so-called test pipe. A test pipe is literally a piece of piping that bolts on in place of your catalytic converter. And by the way, it is illegal to operate a vehicle with a test pipe on a public road. You must have all your emissions equipment intact. So we will not be running the truck on the street. Rather, we're gonna go take it to the racetrack and see how we feel about it. Now, there's a lot to be said for that. Some people would argue that a catalytic converter is not very significant in protecting the environment. Other people would. Some people would say, well, you know, that truck is super old. It's a 1996. So they would argue like it's not even necessary. And apparently, you know, with certain older vehicles in some states are emissions exempt, which is kind of funny because you would think that being older, they would have worse emissions controls, which would be more damaging to the environment. But, you know, common sense is not always all that common. So anywho, if you get to run your car at full power and not be bothered, I suppose that's also cool. And then the population of people actually driving classic old school cars is probably fairly negligible compared to the general population of people driving cars, period. So that's also a consideration. But let's go ahead and get this started. So step one is we're gonna take a tape measure. We're gonna hop under the truck and measure the distance from flange to flange. And yes, my truck is obviously leaking something. We will have to explore that in another episode. Looks like we're working with 12¼ inches. All right, so at this point, I will take my tape measure, kind of pop this on the pipe, take a Sharpie, and mark out 12¼ inches. Once you've got your marking done, the only thing left to do is to cut this, obviously. So depending on what you have available to you, I think a horizontal bandsaw is pretty much ideal for cutting pipe. I have one. If you don't have one, you can use a handheld bandsaw like you can get at Home Depot, or you can even go at this with a hacksaw. It'll take you a little while and effort, but you can easily cut through this with a hacksaw if you have the patience. Obviously an angle, a cutoff wheel and an angle grinder will do the same thing. I'm not a big fan of cutting pipe like that. I think it's just messy and inefficient. That's why I purchased the bandsaw, but if it's not within reach for you, put this in a vise, hit it with a cutoff wheel. It's not the end of the world. And even cheaper, hacksaw. If you can saw pretty straight and you have a good eye, it's not the end of the world. One thing I would recommend is maybe you put a ring around here or a ring of tape or something, and mark out the line all the way around just to serve as a guide. If you're doing that, obviously with a horizontal bandsaw, it just comes out perfect and I don't have to think about it. I want to say a standard bandsaw will do the same exact thing. You just push it across the table. It's just not as nice in the way that it fixtures as a horizontal does, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm out here in the shed. I've got my horizontal bandsaw. I'm going to throw on some hearing protection. I've already got the pipe clamped and the blade aligned to the marking that I made. So really all I have to do at this point is just cut. So at this point, we're further ahead. I did some work off camera. Now, the work that I did was to go ahead and take an angle grinder and clean the ends of this pipe. And the reason I did that is so that it's easier to weld. I'm going to wipe it down with acetone now in order to get off any last remaining filth. These flanges were on another piece of exhaust pipe, so I had to cut them off. Now, the end of one of those, or either end of that piece of exhaust pipe had flared ends, which means that the flanges were actually just loose on the pipe, and there was a flare on the end, keeping it from sliding out. So when I weld this one, it's going to be pretty easy, because the pipe fits inside the flange. So very straightforward to weld. Unfortunately, on the other side, I had already done some welding from a past project. So even though I cleaned this out, I don't have the, like, maybe if I had a lathe, right? I could put this on a lathe and bore out the center and clean it up. But see, it won't sit inside there, unlike here, where it just slides up. So that means I'm going to have to put this on and weld it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this on the car, put the other flange up to where it needs to be, and then I will tack weld it on the car, take it down, and finish welding all the way around. So let me just wipe this down with some acetone, and then we'll get to work on welding this and getting stuff on the car. Alright, so got this up on an old jack stand, kind of aligning it as best we can. I'm going to move it with my hand a little bit too. And I'm going to make a couple tacks and I'll take it out and I'll weld it all the way around. Kind of blowing holes in it, which I don't like. Mind you, I'm not a great welder by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just like, okay. And this is a flux core machine, so it's not great either. Let's dial back the wire speed a little bit. Pipe sucks to weld on, but oh well. Alright, I've got the pipe up under there. I'm going to go ahead and tack weld the other flange. I finished welding the one flange outside. I took a grinder to it, and as they say, welder, grinder, and paint make you the welder you ain't. It's a joke around welders. No amount of grinder or paint will make that a nice weld, in my opinion. It's bad even for my usual work. And I haven't obviously welded in a long time, so that's part of it. But also, the wall thickness of that tube is way too thin, so it's very hard to weld on it and not do anything. I don't know why they sound like crap. But here goes nothing. Now to take it out and weld it all the way around. So at this point, this thing's fully welded up with some of the ugliest welds I've ever done. Unfortunately, the cheap pipe I got at the autoparts is a very thin gauge, and it's too thin for welding with a flux core, so I was blowing holes in it left and right and couldn't really get nice welds done anyway. Got it done as best I could. Then I hit it with a high temp exhaust primer and the 316 stainless steel paint. Now, this probably won't ever be on my truck long enough to see corrosion, but it's nice to protect it anyway. Next step is really just to go to an autocross and slap this thing on, maybe drive it around the parking lot of the autocross a little bit, let it cool down, do another little quick drive around the parking lot, then do all my runs and see if I feel any kind of difference, hear any kind of difference in the performance, and then obviously it'll come back off before I leave. And if I ever do a track day, I'll try it both with and without, just to see how it does. But in any case, I will do a follow-up just to get you guys that information, like, did it make a difference? Could I feel it? Could I hear anything different? And, you know, I'm assuming it'll be a little bit louder and maybe a little bit better throttle response, but I'm not expecting a major gain. In any case, if this has been amusing to you, feel free to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post another video. I'm always going to be doing random projects like this. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave that in the comment sections. And as always, thank you guys for watching.